It is another day on Your Image, your public relations flagship program on television. We're glad to be here once again, and I'm also glad to have my guest who is already seated. We've been talking about managing crisis in educational sector of our economy. Of course, we learned that education is the foundation and the bedrock for growth and development in any nation. Why must Nigeria be involved in this messy crisis? I say messy crisis because it's like we are not finding solutions to it. How can we continue to have issues that need stakeholders' involvement, stakeholders' engagement, right from the outset, and not just when the issues boomerang or blossom, that we begin to talk about differences, conflict. I want to welcome once again, let me start with Pastor Dare Folani. You're welcome, sir.
Good evening, viewers. Thanks
Pastor
for having
Dare Folani is a communication expert, and he's also a regular guest here. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Also, we have from the private sector a man who is senator. He is the founder and current provost of the Yewa Central College of Education in Ogun State, Professor David Olufemi Bamboshe.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity to discuss education.
Thanks for having you once again.
Thank you, sir.
And of course, the great veterinarian.
Yes, sir.
From FUNAB, you are cordially welcome. Professor Oladele Talabi.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, Nigeria.
Thanks for sparing your time to be with us this week.
Thank you very much, sir.
Let's go to the issue, managing crisis in the education sector in Nigeria. Well, why are we finding it difficult to resolve conflicts, crisis in Nigeria? Not only education sector now, in Nigeria. Professor Bamboshe.
Thank you very much. Of course, if you have crisis and problem in the education sector, it will spiral to the society. Yeah. There is no way you can divorce the town from the gown. Now, we continue to have this crisis if our educational sector that produce the intellectuals in the society, if they have problem. Now, let me say categorically that the contemporary problem crisis that we have in the country today is about the large number of students out of school and the issue of the ASU federal government crisis, which, of course, is causing a lot of problem in the society, because when you have that kind of crisis, our students will be available as devil's workshop. You will have prostitution, you will have illegalism, cultism, because there is no sensitivity to education, to putting all these young minds and young hands to work, to be very busy. So we cannot talk about crisis without talking about this, recurring crisis between intractable between federal government and our colleagues in the public institution.
Do we talk of autonomy?
Okay, you see, that is an area where we need to look at, because you cannot have an autonomy if you are being somebody is spoon feeding you. There's an idea that says either pays the piper, dictates the tune. If the federal government is the one giving 100% or maybe 85 or 90% of the requirement in our public institution, they will tell them what they want. Thank God it's getting better. In the past, it is the government that will dictate who is going to be the chief executive, vice chancellors, and rectors and provosts of public institutions. But now the governing council are coming up, even though the governing council are also nominee of the government. So I'm saying that we need to holistically look at issues, autonomy, funding, management of our tertiary institution. Let me say this: if you know the amount our people are paying for education in a foreign country. I'm not talking of Europe. I'm not talking of London. I'm talking of Benin Republic, Liberia, Sierra Leone. You go to CBN and take the statistics. Our people are paying huge sum of money to educate their children and world outside the shore of Nigeria. Why is government insisting that it is the constitutional role of government and you don't want to involve stakeholders in contributing to educational matter in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. Professor Talabi.
Yes, sir.
In the midst of this crisis, I could see a new rating.
Yes, sir.
World rating for
Yes,
universities. And we are lucky that about 3 universities in Nigeria are in the top ranking.
Yes,
let me first of all congratulate Federal University of Agriculture for emerging one of them. How will you describe the feat in the area of veterinary medicine? What has been the contributing factor?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I want to use this opportunity to appreciate our Vice Chancellor, Professor Felix Kolawole Salako, in whose term as Vice Chancellor, our College of Veterinary Medicine in Federal University of Abeokuta, is able to achieve that feat of being recognized. Of course, when you talk about ranking, what are the qualities? It's like you are marking a question and you now say this particular candidate, I'm giving you are scoring 75%. In the ranking process, things that they will use in ranking includes qualities like the quality of publications of veterinarians in that university. Graduates of veterinary medicine in that university, how are they faring? As I speak, sir, quite a number of my students are outside the shores of this country practicing veterinary medicine, and they trained here in Nigeria. Graduates of veterinary medicine in FUNAB can stand shoulder to shoulder to any veterinarian across the world, and those are some of the qualities.
What is the magic?
The magic, of course, I said earlier. If you come to our veterinary teaching hospital,
I'm asking this question because there are so many other departments, faculties in the university.
Yeah.
What has been the great turnaround for that?
I commended my Vice Chancellor earlier. In his term, he was able to equip our veterinary teaching hospital. And we have quite a number of facilities. For example, ultrasound machine, X-ray machine. When you hear such machines, you will think that they are supposed to be in human hospitals. They are in our veterinary teaching hospital. And then you don't talk about instrument alone. The human capacity that you have in the college, quite a number of us are professors in that college, and we can stand shoulder to shoulder with other professors across Africa. And quite a number of us have quality publications with Europeans, with Americans, and quite a number of our lecturers are currently on postdoc in Europe, in America. Those are the things that we eventually, when they are assessing the ranking, that are we visible. The lecturers that are on the payroll of FUNAB in College of Veterinary Medicine, are they visible in the academia? As in, are they visible in Scopus, in any area that you are assessing quality publications? How many of us publish in veterinary record? How many of us publish in veterinary parasitology? Quality journals that you can say, yes, these are quality journals, and you read through and you are happy that, yes, I'm working in this institution. And that's why I appreciated my own Vice Chancellor the other time. He had done so well for us in the college.
Thank you very much, Prof. Folani.
Yeah.
You see, I think the task is with you communicators. What have been your responsibility? Are you challenged that you do not have adequate communication taking place with within those institutions that is not making the outside world to understand to get the messages across to them that some students are performing well, some lecturers are doing their great work, and that what is your take here?
I think the quality of the graduates that we produce in the country is not in doubt at all. We have top-notch graduates who are the best all over the world. You can see what is happening with our products outside. When they go outside, they beat all comers. And so the quality is not, the quality of the graduates is not in doubt. What is in doubt is the management capacity of some of the administrators and even our government not obeying agreements. Government should obey agreements. I mean, something that you sign. This is standard operating procedure. Whatever agreement you reach, you obey. And if you are not going to, obey the agreement, call them to dialogue, conversation, jaw, rather than war. So when you dialogue, whatever issues there are, even when you go to war, you still come back to the round table. So please, I want to urge all stakeholders to dialogue. We need dialogue. And you can't win everything all the time. Make concessions. Let there be progress. Let the universities be opened.
There's an area I really want you to trash out. The challenge to you communicators.
Well,
I'm coming. Professor Talabi has said that they are doing a lot of researches, and the research outcomes are being published, and then so many other activities are taking place. Don't you see that the communicators, the public relations people within those tertiary institutions, do you see any laxity or inadequacy?
Information, management and information communication, we need to do more. We need to do more to expose some of these researches, findings, and everything, so that there will be the nexus, the synergy between town and gown. Like he was saying earlier on, all our courses should be tailored to the peculiarities of the regions. He mentioned it, and once we do this, we can harness this skill set, to improve the economy. But why currently we're having the impasse and the crisis is in areas of stakeholders management, consensus building. We should build more consensus. We should learn to give and take. Wars are won by skillful strategies. So we should dialogue more.
Okay, the area, we should dialogue more. I want to take up the challenge that have been observed, which has to do with proper handling of outcomes of the activities within those institutions. Communicators should expertly handle their job very well. They should, of course, expose some of these findings to the outside world. Platforms, websites, and other social somethings are there for them to project the activities. Probably that is the area that is lacking, that is not making those institutions to be visible, because we have talents. Talents are banned in these institutions. Professor Bangoshe, I want to ask you, how much of this talent exposure are available in the private sector?
Yeah, no doubt we have top-notch people in our teaching across the institutions. Let me also inform you that our lecturers in the public institutions are helping the private sector a lot. We have experience.
How?
We have, they come in as visiting the lecturers, visiting professors.
Sabbaticals.
They come on sabbaticals, because incidentally they have experience on their side that these institutions have been existing long time before government start to grant licensing for private institutions. So of course we also have our own system development. We have human capacity that we have developed in the private sector. I'm in the private sector now. Even I had the opportunity to have an hybrid of experience in and out of the country. Okay, so it is there. But let me say this: the communication department of universities and tertiary institutions may not be the serious problem. What we have as a serious problem now is policy. policies by government to encourage institutions to go into research, because research requires huge fund. If you look at developed nations, let me tell you, if you take a university in America now, Harvard University, the budget of Harvard University is more than the budget of the federal government of Nigeria.
The university?
One university. I'm talking authoritatively. So research requires huge amount of money for you to do. Thank God we have some leaders in the universities that are working to provide facilities and equipment. Not all institutions find it very easy, like a Professor Talabi. It's a rare privilege, and that's why he was hammering on the concentration and the focus that the Vice Chancellor has given them. So I'm saying that there is no direct policy by government. When we do this research, when we eventually have this innovation, how do we transport the innovation from research to a commercial entity? That's another problem. If I know that if I go into a research, I will be able to bring it up, to expand it, to commercialize it. I will be encouraged to do more. But there's nothing like that. So I still go back to the fundamentals, and the fundamental that we have here in issue of education is that people who are managing education in government. In government, they are the ones that are responsible to stimulate policies and implementation of policies to help our system.
Thank you very much, Prof. We're just talking about research.
Yes, sir.
And exposure of these institutions to funding, partnership, and then growth of the talents that are banned in the institutions, particularly in Nigeria.
Yes,
what's your view? What would you recommend that government should do? What would you recommend for individuals, companies?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. When you talk about funding, it goes beyond funding. The funding has to be consistent. For example, my own specialization is diseases of cattle. For you to rear cattle and it to produce, it will take, depending on the food, minimum of 2.5 years. Meaning that cattle should be eating morning, afternoon, evening consistently for 2.5 years. Non-stop. Animals do not know Friday, they don't know Saturday, they don't know Sunday, they don't know January 1, they don't know Christmas Day. They must eat every day. And when you look at our own mentality in Nigeria, you see, many government farms, why are they collapsing? Because the officer in charge to feed the animal Saturday and Sunday will bring all the food Saturday, Sunday, and Monday morning, pour to the animal on Friday evening. The animals will be very happy on Friday. They will eat and defecate and urinate on the food. Saturday, they will not eat the food because it will be smelling of feces. So basically, that animal will starve Saturday, Sunday. And by Monday morning, an animal that should be looking bigger becomes smaller. If you now look at that over a period of 2-3 years, this is a particular animal that will eat 5 days and starve 2 days. That is not consistency. So when you are talking about funding, government after government.
Is that a problem of funding or administrative lapses?
You see, we have peculiarities in Nigeria.
No, we have to face it, because if the setting has been that food is provided for 7 days, and then someone out of his own that attitude, out of his own improper work ethics. Fed the animal for 5 days and then went on a walk for 2 days. What is
the Prof is alluding to consistency.
Consistency.
That's what he's trying to say. You see, you will see a government planning a program, and a new government will come.
A new government will come.
Jettison
everything.
You can't do that in research.
You cannot do that in research.
You have destabilized and destroyed every work that have been done. He's only using that example as to show that when you want to do research, It will take years.
No, it is the error in that arrangement that have
It may take years. So there must be a consistent plan, a consistent follow-up implementation.
So agreed.
Let me give you this input.
Okay.
Iowa State University. I read a book. 1904. Iowa State University. They acquired a male and a female animal. That is a bull and a heifer. That is young male, young female. They were rearing those two animals from 1904, generation upon generation. They were going into breeding. They did not add animals. I read that article in 1999-2000. They now analyzed that particular two animals in 1904. They are not, I'm not, the longevity of cattle is like 13 to 18 years. The initial stock may have been eliminated by 1920. Another set, you understand? They analyzed, no vice chancellor came 10 years to say what kind of research are you doing? Stop. Go to this direction. They did a research from 1904 and they were reviewing it in 1999. That is a research that took 95 years. Generation upon generation doing the same thing again and again. So when you talk about funding and what have you, it has to be consistently doing the right thing continuously. That was how those places developed to where they are today.
So
thank you very much.
Why are we having that?
We need to engage stakeholders. We cannot leave education to government. Companies must come in. That it was an error of thinking to put education constitutionally as the responsibility of government. Let me tell you, if you go to our public institutions and you take TED fund out of public institution, it will be
a collapse.
I'm telling you. So you will see TED fund project 2001, TED fund project, and so on and so forth. Because a private
Why can't there be a self-development program?
A private sector injection came. It's not from, if it is from government, it will have become another thing. We must get the parents, the industries, the people who will use this research from us. We must get every stakeholder together. That's where communicators come in to own education in Nigeria.
Probably what has been lacking has been that we are not communicating well to the stakeholders so that they can be encouraged to participate.
I think all stakeholders should give due recognition to education. Education should play a key role. The significance to education is a priority. Education should be number one. According to UNESCO is saying 25% of your budget should be devoted to education at the state, at the local government, and at the federal government level. So due recognition should be given to education, and all stakeholders should know. University shouldn't be shut down for 5-6 months. It shouldn't. It should not happen. So please, we should use this opportunity to find a way to get lasting solutions to it. Anything that will happen to lead to disruption in academics, we shouldn't happen. We should have zero tolerance for that.
Your last part, your advice.
Well, my advice to government, to all stakeholders, is that we should find a common ground. Whether we like it or not, all of us are Nigerians. Those in government, those in the academia, those in the public sector, all of us should sit down and discuss and chart a good course for Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Your last bite.
Education is fundamental. It is fundamental to any nation. The rising and the falling of nation, we depend on the quality of education. It's time for all of us to rise to the occasion.
It's time for all of us to rise to the occasion. And that calls for collaborative tendencies. That calls for new vision. That calls for a new arrangement in coming together to ensure that we have peace, progress, and development, not only in an educational sector, but in all sectors of the economy in Nigeria. I want to thank Professor Talabi.
Thank you very much, sir.
You've been wonderful. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, sir.
Professor Bangoshe.
I count it a privilege. Thank you for
we are glad to have you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Eda Folani.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Vias, it's been a wonderful time having this Ege is here. And I want to say that, well, problems are to be solved.
Absolutely.
Join us next time to solve more problems. It's on that note that I want to appreciate you. Until next week, where we come with another topic, I say bye.